Hey everybody, welcome to what I guess can only be characterized as a somewhat self-indulgent vlog on my part. I'm going to show you two clips of me reciting speeches. The speeches are by a very famous Irish writer in Shimane. His name was Lafcadio Hearn, and he lived in Matsue, the capital of Shimane, in I think 1890 for a little less than 2 years. And he wrote some books about Japan that became very famous, introducing Westerners to exotic Japan back then. And some of his stories, he translated a lot of Japanese folklore and ghost stories into English, and some of them got adapted into a film in the 60s that's very famous. It won I think the Palme d'Or at Cannes, and it was called Koizumi. It's a very good film if you've never seen it. And his residence, etc., is still a big tourist attraction in Matsue. So my kids go every year and do speech contests. There's sort of 3 levels. The Hearn contest, named after him in Matsue, is very difficult. The passage they have to memorize is very long. And the reason I was giving these speeches that you're about to see, I've kind of edited them down, is I volunteered at the local library, at the Taisha Library, for about 4 years of my time with Jed. I wanted to get involved with the community, and this was one way I was able to do it. Every 3rd Tuesday, I would go to the local library and read big picture books in English, like Very Hungry Caterpillar and What Can You See, Brown Bear, to little children, usually preschool-aged kids. And after I had done this for a long time, I said, hey, wouldn't it be nice, you're having this library event. They were having a library event on July 4th, about a month before I left Japan, if I kind of gave a presentation about Lafcadio Hearn and gave advice to people wanting to help their students with speech contests, because I had great success as an ALT coaching my kids, and we won a lot of prizes at different events, including, I think one of my students won a prize at Lafcadio Hearn 3 out of the 5 times I went, so not bad. So the first speech you're going to see is called Tsunami. Well, actually, the speech is called A Living God, which is a reference to the sea, and it's a story, and we're going to pick it up about midway. So it's a story about an old man who looks out at the ocean and realizes that something is very wrong, and tries to warn his small coastal village in Japan that a tsunami is coming. And I will let you watch the clip, and then I will come back and introduce the second clip. Okay, enjoy.
It was running away from the land. He had never seen such a thing before. He understood what the sea was going to do. He called to his grandson, Tata, quick, very quick, light me a torch. The child kindled a torch at once, and the old man hurried up with it to the fields, where hundreds of rice stacks stood awaiting transportation. He began to apply the torch to them. The sun-dried stalks caught like tinder, and presently, rank behind rank, the stacks burst into flame, sending skyward columns of smoke that met and mingled in one enormous cloudy whirl. Tada, terrified, ran after his grandfather, crying, "Oh, Ji-san, why? Oh, Ji-san, why? But Hamaguchi did not answer. He had no time to explain. He was thinking only of the 400 lives in peril. The sun was going down, and still the sea was fleeing toward the horizon. A score of young peasants arrived and wanted to attack the fire at once, but the Choja, holding out both arms, stopped them. "Let it burn, lads," he commanded. "Let it be. I want the whole mura here. There is a great danger. Taihenda." The whole village was coming, and Hamaguchi counted. "Grandfather is mad. He set fire to the rice on purpose. I saw him do it," sobbed Tada in answer to a number of questions. "Kita!" shouted the old man at the top of his voice, pointing to the open. Through the twilight, all eastward all looked, and saw at the edge of the dusky horizon a long, lean, dim line, like the shadowing of a coast, where no coast ever was. The long darkness was the returning sea, towering like a cliff, and coursing more swiftly than the kite flies. "Tsunami!" shrieked the people, and all the shrieks, and all the sounds, and all power to hear sounds were annihilated by a nameless shock heavier than any thunder as the colossal swell smote the shore. For an instant, nothing was visible but a storm of spray rushing up the slope like a cloud, and all the people scattered in panic. When they looked again, they saw a white horror of sea raving over the place of their homes. There was no word spoken. All stared speechlessly at the desolation below.
Okay, so thank you for watching that part. I hope you enjoyed it. The next speech you're going to hear selections from is called Sayonara, and it's a speech that I've coached, I think, 3 different students in, and it came to have very special meaning for me. That final month I was in Japan, I get a little choked up when I read it aloud. And I want to thank Ang, my cohort and fellow Taisha ALT. She was in the audience that day and took my camera and filmed me and took some pictures, so thank you, Ang. And if you want to know more about Lafcadio Hearn, check the sidebar for links. I'll put some links, or if you look him up as Koizumi Yakumo, that is his Japanese name. I'll also put links to full text excerpts on the internet of both stories I read if you want to see the full thing. And the kids actually pick from a book of about 60 selections, and the selections are edited so they can read them in about 5 minutes on speech day. But it's really been a gratifying experience, both volunteering for the library and coaching my kids in speech contests. Definitely one of my favorite activities every year. So if you're an ALT now, or if you're going to be an ALT next year, get involved as much as you can. I highly recommend speech contests if your schools participate. It's a great way, and try to give back a little bit to the community you're living in, and get out there and meet people and interact with all the Japanese folk around you. And read some Lafcadio Hearn. He's a really great writer, and some of the stories are really scary. Okay, thanks for watching as always, and enjoy this next selection. Sayonara. Bye.
I must go. It is a lovely vapory morning, sharp with the first chill of winter. From the tiny deck, I take my last look at the quaint vista of the Ohashigawa with its long white bridge, at the sails of the junks, gold-colored by the early sun, at the beautiful, fantastic shapes of the ancient hills. Magical indeed is the charm of this land, as of a land haunted by gods. So lovely the spectral delicacy of its colors, so lovely the forms of its hills blending with the forms of its clouds, so lovely above all those long trailings and bandings of its mists which make its altitudes appear to hang in air. A land where sky and earth so strangely intermingle that what is reality may not be distinguished from what is illusion, that all seems a mirage about to vanish. For me, alas, it is about to vanish forever. Memories of all that make attachment to places and things. Remembered smiles. The dog waiting by the gate at the accustomed hour. The garden with its lotus flowers and its cooing of doves. Songs of children at play. Afternoon shadows upon many tinted streets. The long lines of lantern fires upon festal nights. The dancing of the moon upon the lake. the clapping of hands by the river shore in salutation to the Izumo sun, the endless merry pattering of Geita over the windy bridge, all these and 100 other happy memories revive for me with almost painful vividness, while the far peaks, whose names are holy, slowly turn away their blue shoulders, and the little steamer bears me more swiftly, ever farther and farther from the province of the gods.